can you remember that scene in the Matrix movie when Neo fights and discover he has the Force, and he just and he just
Matrix. Yeah.
counter every attacks from the other guy. He was just like that, and I can remember this day I said, okay, well, he's right on everything. Either, it's like the sources and the market. Either you're dumb and you're not listening, either you give yourself a chance to listen and to grow up and to create yourself new opportunities that will be more aligned with your life vision and values. And this is what happened, basically.
Keep 'em cold till I'm old. I don't plan to blow my load. Wallet so blue, if you know, you know. It's better than bonds, better than gold. Finna reap up what I sow. Fit money can't keep up, it gets sold. How many times you been told? DCA's the way to go. Higher highs, higher lows. Every year my network grows. Every day my network grows. Running relays, running nodes. Yeah. Dollar a day's a minimum. Stats, zap sats. Any fear I get, I'm flipping them.
So we met in Madeira
Exactly, yeah.
at the conference there.
I think we've met before. Maybe it was a conference called Le Paradigme Bitcoin in Switzerland.
Yeah, I was there. So not in 2024, it was 2023. I remember meeting Gilles there as well.
Yes, he was there as well.
So Gilles, I followed on Twitter. I looked at his tweets and stuff, and then I saw him on stage at Le Paradigme Bitcoin, and then when he was like just walking around normally, like a normal person, I was like, I want to say hello, but he doesn't know who I am, and he might think that I'm crazy because, when you follow someone for a long time.
Yeah.
And you feel like you kind of know them because you read what they write, but they don't even know you exist. And you see them in real life, and it's just like, hi.
Oh, but you shouldn't have this feeling because I mean, for now at least, since it takes time for adoption and stuff. But the Bitcoiners, on X and on Nostr and in the ecosystem in general are pretty open. Most of the time,
Yeah.
you just say hi. I'm following you since a while. This is what I think and stuff, and you can discuss with nearly everyone in this ecosystem. We are
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, I did approach him and I think we had a coffee or something and I was like, "Oh, he's really cool. Like he's a nice person." But there's always the initial kind of, should I say hello? Should I not? I saw Adam back at Lugano Plan B. Outside randomly, he was certainly doing something and I saw him and I froze and I just kind of mumbled and he looked at me like she's crazy. Like
well.
he which is totally understandable.
You are even two times more lucky than us because us plebs because you are a girl as well, and we all know that in conferences and stuff, there's no such thing as girls looking at conferences. I mean, you are one of the only ones I've seen. Basically, mostly males between
Yeah.
25 and 40 geeks, right?
Yeah, totally. And I think a few people have made backhanded comments like, what's the term? When a woman comes in, but she's trying to like get a Bitcoin off of a man or something like that. Like, what is the term? I
Okay.
forget. But I've heard that a few times, and I'm like, yeah, I understand the perspective, but that's really not who I am.
Bitcoin digger, I don't know, but
Yeah, a bit
some
digger.
of them it's really a bad word, but some of them call the girls like that UTX hoes.
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of funny. And if my husband calls me a UTX hoe, I'd be like, okay, like
Funny.
talk dirty to me. So Science Géniale, should I call you Science Géniale or Génial or Science
Can call
or
me
sci-fi?
science. It's enough. Genial is actually just because I love Dragon Ball Z. It's
Hmm.
it's a manga, and there is someone called Tortue Genial in French. In English, it's Master Roshi. And I don't know, I like him, and I decided it's Science Genial, but nothing deeper than that.
Okay, so I'll say science. Can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, I'm science. I'm a pleb um, in the Bitcoin rabbit hole, balls deep since 3 years. And
Oh, Steve.
before that, I was interested in different stuff, even the shitcoins ecosystem. I was believing everything people told me about, technology revolution, gaming, NFTs, and whatever. And you mentioned Gilles earlier. It's one of the guys who orange pilled me deeply because I was listening to to his interviews and so on. And after some time, yeah, everything made sense. This is what I should do, and I should be interested in, and nothing else matter actually. So yeah, it's been 3 years. Since 3 years, I did contributions, open source contributions, and I tried my best contributing to projects. And I've been a freelance consultant for different Bitcoin projects so far. That's it.
That's it.
Doing my part.
So, and you forget perhaps one of the most important things, which
Wow.
is your pepper sauce, your hot
Yeah,
sauce.
that's true. That's true. And that's a funny story because how this did this started. I'm a passionate about chili and chili sauce since I'm a child. With my brothers and stuff, we always grew chilies, made our own sauces and stuff. But when I came in Bitcoin meetups and stuff, I needed something to start the conversation with. And I decided to bring some chili sauce I made. And I was really surprised. People did like it, did enjoy it. Maybe Bitcoiners are a little bit adventurous, more than other people. And yeah, I don't know how it happens, but then the next conference I was selling my own hot sauces, and I tried to make this game the best as I could. That means that I try to buy chilies, onions, garlic, everything I can, Bitcoin, and sell it for Bitcoin. And I'm trying to avoid um, touching fiat with this project. So it's called Spice Toshi. And when I need to to pay someone in fiat, I will use a proxy, someone doing it for me. But I'm trying to avoid that. The real end goal is to have 100% of the ingredients paid paid for in Bitcoin, and obviously selling it to customers who like what I'm doing for Bitcoin as well.
The whole supply chain is Bitcoin. Supply chain Bitcoin maximalist.
And you know what? It works great so far. It was great. It works great so far, and it was one of the first source of inspiration of a talk I did in a conference, pleb talk, who was about. I was telling the devs, stop doing projects for yourself. You need to address the market, right? So the talk was called "The Illusion of Build It and They Will Come." And
Hmm.
the hot sauces stuff helped me because I crafted hot sauces and chili sauces that were not hot. And I was thinking, okay, people will buy first the non-hot sauces. It was my opinion. But in fact, they bought the very hot sauces big time. And when I see that, I can stick to my original opinion, or I can listen to the market and then
Yeah.
do hotter sauces, and then my brand um, has incomes and then survive. And this is what most Bitcoin companies need to understand, in my humble opinion.
That is the truth. And I mean, I think it applies to tech in general and especially Bitcoin. But the thing about Bitcoin is that it's so unique. It is, it's money, it's a currency, it's a protocol, it's so many different things. And so to be able to condense it into a product or service that, regular people who are not geeks can actually use and integrate into their lives or their businesses can be a huge, huge challenge.
Well,
Huge.
that's a very big challenge, and I think it's not the highest priority on the table.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you build a product or a service, you need to address market needs first for the existing Bitcoiners, right? But you have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of projects here and there dying every year just because
Yeah.
they don't listen to market needs and they try to build something to impress the other devs. And that's
Yeah.
a big mistake in my humble opinion. But that's not only the devs, right? If I'm making hot sauces and I don't listen to the customers who say, okay, this one I like, this one I don't like, I would like to have non-hot sauces as well, or whatever. If I don't listen to them, well, my company will stop making incomes and
Yeah.
will die. That's it. And that's the proof of work. You can have a company and raise funds and basically
Yeah.
live in a simulation where it doesn't matter if you burn money. But if you take the proof of work approach, you need to be market aligned and you definitely need to let your product become what the market wants instead of your child, something that you
Yeah.
dreamed
Your
of and you
baby.
don't want to change. And that's a big mistake, in my opinion.
So I totally agree. In for business development, for understanding your customer's journey, that is the way to go. But here is a trick question for you. What if your customers want something else that is not Bitcoin? What do you do? Shout out to the Orange Manufacturing Group. They helped me with my logo design, and you know that I'll be ordering their premium hardwood sign and lightning keychain. Accessories are curated from a selection of durable traditional materials built to last. Use the Geyser Fund link in the show notes to take advantage of their trust minimal process. Or to save 5%, go to omg21btc.com. That's omg21btc.com and use code AAB21Q.
It depends what you're talking about, because if you're talking about shitcoins, obviously, when I'm saying that you should focus on customers' feedback in order to improve your product and to make it viable, it doesn't mean that you have to prostitute yourself, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that big. Okay, someone, hey, science, I don't care about the sauce. I want I want you to put, I want to see you naked. Okay, you can have an ethic, right? You can have ethics and say, okay, this I will not address. This market I will not
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you want to address a specific market, you really need to adapt to what people need. If you don't want to sell shitcoins, for example, that's a positioning. You can do that. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
respect that. Okay, me, I want to buy and sell Bitcoin, and I will never integrate shitcoins on my app. That's a positioning. And if the market is not ready for a Bitcoin only product, then the company will die. But I highly doubt about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's that's where the educational process ties in, and the individual's journey in dabbling with shitcoins, and getting burned testing the market.
Exactly.
Actually, speaking of that, I pulled up one of your tweets. I think you did this yesterday. I'm just going to share the screen.
Can't even remember what I posted this morning.
I know it is. It's about. Oh, you shared it today. Um, can you see this?
Oh yeah, that's a big ass tweet.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good one though. It's about Bill Bitcoin's logo. But so I'm going to read it in French. Don't laugh at me if I massacre this in French. And then we'll translate it to English. And then I'll ask my question afterwards. So you talk about Bull Bitcoin's logo and stuff, and then you talk about the team in Europe. So the first one is Gilles Cadignan. And
Yeah.
you say le maximaliste toxique qui m'a initié à Bitcoin grâce à ses interviews, il m'a convaincu des failles des shitcoins à une époque où j'étais encore confus et tombé dans les pièges des scammers. So you talk about how Gilles, thanks to his interviews, convinced you of the weaknesses with respect to shitcoins during a time when you were confused and you fell into scams. So my question is, which scams did you fall into? What happened?
Well, nothing special. I mean, when I stopped, I had a career in civil engineering, international civil engineering, but then I stumbled on shitcoins, crypto, or whatever. And then I dug in this rabbit hole, and I was convinced that yeah, maybe there are use cases interesting for NFTs, whatever, gaming. And I can remember these days I was talking with Gilles, and he was counter. He, he 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 was blocking all my arguments so fine, so well. Can you remember that scene in the Matrix movie when Neo fights and discover he has the Force, and he just and he just
Matrix. Yeah.
counter every attacks from the other guy. He was just like that, and I can remember this day I said, okay, well, he's right on everything. Either it's like the sources and the market. Either you're dumb and you're not listening. Either you give yourself a chance to listen and to grow up and to create yourself new opportunities that will be more aligned with your life vision and values. And this is what happened basically. I'm really explaining what happens in this big ass tweet with everyone in the team.
Yeah, definitely. Because you are based in France, right? Well, I don't want to
Right now,
dox you, but
right
yeah.
now I'm based in France. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years or 3 years that I came back in France. Before that, I was in the Caribbean.
Because I remember when Gilles was on, I asked him why there's so much shitcoining in France. And I think in French speaking countries as well. It seems, and I shouldn't say so much, maybe it's proportional with respect to the population. I seem to encounter more French speakers who are talking about NFTs and blockchain and how it's going to revolutionize everything. Like they don't, I get a sense that proportionately speaking, there are less sort of Bitcoin maximalists who are English speaking compared to French speaking.
I really don't know, and I don't know the numbers, but I can tell you that there are shit tons of shit corners in English speaker as well,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
India, from England, from America, from everywhere actually. But the Frenchies have this reputation. Indeed, I don't
yeah,
know why. Maybe it's related to the fact that our language is so complex that yeah, people like telling stories, and it works well with shitcoins telling stories. It's all about stories, right?
yeah,
The other factor could be that there there is a real big trend, fashion, um, on startups in France, and basically
yeah,
startups is yeah, it's a living jungle because scammers, they are living their best lives in the startup ecosystem. Basically, you are burning the money of others, and it's somehow similar to a shitcoins project, right? From ICOs to I don't
yeah.
know, pre-sales of NFT, whatever. Every project, every shitcoin project is actually a turbo startup.
Yep, definitely. So, speaking so I mentioned Gilles and France and stuff because I wanted to sort of bridge the gap into a term that you and JJ have coined, which is what am I going to say? Socialistan,
Socialist, yeah.
Soci-
Socialist,
Socialistan,
yeah.
which is so. Where does this place exist on the planet? Where is Socialistan?
I think Socialistan is universal.
Mm-hmm.
Socialistan is universal because, of course, to me, the biggest Socialistan nation is France. France is we never know how to call it, because of course it's not communism. If you take at the definition, it's not communism, but it's turbo socialism, and it's similar, comparable to URSS back in the days. And yeah, basically they are always pushing these social narratives in the politics, and it ends up with your country um, becoming the third world. And that's why it's funny we say Socialistan, like it's a country, like, Afghanistan, whatever. Maybe not that nice for these countries, but yeah, this is how we call France. But we found out that we have followers from Quebec, Canada,
Yeah.
and other places, Belgium, and they totally understand this world Socialistan, and they have their own
Yeah.
Quebecistan and some things like that.
Wait, did you say Quebecistan?
Yeah, yeah. We have
These are good.
we have Canadian followers who already told us, "Yeah, oh my God, we have the same word. We call it Quebecistan." So yeah, and I think the US were also socialist and big time before Trump and the Doge um, came on the scene, not just recently, right? It starts to feel a little bit less like Socialistan, but Socialistan is global. Socialistan can become your country.
Yeah. So when I did 1 year studying in France, and I remember seeing a communist tag somewhere, and I walked by, I don't know what kind of building it was, but it was some kind of association, and it said like Communist Party, and I was like, oh, I was like, I stopped dead in my tracks. I was like, is this allowed? Like, is this legal? Communism really exists? Like, I was floored. And later on, because my husband is French and stuff, and whenever we talk about current events, I can see that we just think differently because the way we constructed the world is completely different.
Yeah.
Can you describe what socialism is in France?
Well, I will try to make it really simple. Socialism
Yeah.
is the will of making things for good with the money of others. Basically, that's it.
Hmm.
That this is what we sell to the population. Population will be behind you as a politician. If you say, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna make your conditions better by stealing uh, others' money. That's it. That's what
That's it.
socialism is. And there is something that really annoys me. It's that, you know, it's um, it's really handy for medias and politicians that people hate so much on communism. But communism is not an enemy. It doesn't even exist. If you look at history, when we talk about USSR, USSR is so difficult for me to say. URSS or USSR.
USSR. Yeah.
Yeah, there were socialists. If you look at the Nazis, Adolf Hitler, he was socialist. If you look at basically any big government that did things wrong, Cuba, whatever, they are talking about communism, but they are socialist, and their name says socialist. They are really clever from the school because every teacher in school is socialist in France. They're really clever. They always put the bad stuff on communism
Yeah.
to make it morally acceptable.
Yeah. I
Socialism.
see.
It's incredible.
So the money is taken from other people to pay for the good. Who are the other people who are getting their money taken away from them?
Well, okay, that's what you promise to the people you're talking to. No, I'm not gonna tax you. I'm gonna tax the others. I'm gonna tax the riches, right?
Yeah.
But in fact, that's a big lie. Why? Because when you pay taxes in France, at least, when you pay taxes in France, it means that you are not poor. The poor and the fraudsters, basically, on the left side of the bell curve, they don't
Yeah,
pay.
the famous bell curve. I'm going to
Yeah,
insert the image with JJ. Yeah.
yeah. They
It
don't
applies
pay.
to
They
everything.
don't pay anything because maybe they fraud or maybe they're benefiting from aids and social efforts by the government. On the right side of the bell curve, you have Jeff Bezos. He has special optimizations in order to never pay a dime in taxes. And who is paying the taxes? The taxes is the mid bell curve, right? The midwits.
The
People,
midwits, yeah.
yeah, you can be an entrepreneur. You can be someone producing in the fields, in your bakery. Basically, everyone working for real. You can be a salary as well. I was about to say Tom being a salarié as well. You can be in a big company, whatever, as long as you're living the French dream, slavery. That you have a mortgage, that you have a surface of attack huge, and the state will capture you. They will literally in France, they will take the taxes on your accounts or on your paycheck before it hits your account. That's it.
Yeah.
And say we're gonna sell to everyone. No, but don't worry. We're gonna tax the rich. So the poor gonna say yes, no problem. Oh my god, so good. And the midwits, they are so dumb, most of them, they will say yes, because they are tired. They are tired of paying too much, and they believe that we will tax the riches. We won't. You cannot tax the rich. His company is deployed in multiple countries. He has a lot of money to pay fiscalist tax lawyers. Sorry, tax lawyers to avoid paying any taxes and stuff. No, at the end of the day, if you vote for taxing the riches, you're gonna pay, and you're gonna end up in the category of the poor guys.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the goal,
I
because if
yeah.
everyone is poor in a country, except the richest, if everyone is poor in a country, who has the most power? The government and people working for the government, because they are distributing the rationing.
Yeah.
Rationing. And when you distribute the rationing, you are almighty. People will sell you their daughter in order to have a flat, whatever. We have seen this before in communist countries, in socialist countries. You as us are in the Republic of Weimar. It's always the same thing. Their goal is to have only poor people, rich people they can make business with, and that's it.
And that's it. So you mentioned Trump, and the US was on a path to becoming another Socialistan until Trump got elected. What are your thoughts on his recent announcement that there would be 25% tariffs on European goods?
I really don't have an opinion on that, because okay, you can take the libertarian side of things and say no, that's wrong. Market is everything,
Yeah.
and of course I understand that it's gonna be Americans themselves paying the price for these tariffs, right? I know that, but we live in a world where every country is centralized and is somehow statist. So you cannot, from the day to another, stop negotiating with them. And I'm a minarchist. I want the less state as possible, but I don't think we can do that in a short time frame. I'm explaining myself. If you stop doing this kind of negotiations with the other countries, and you give more freedom to the people, and you let the market do its thing, you are at risk that other country of powers will
Yeah.
then influence I don't know how to say it, but will then probably take advantage of it and try
Yeah.
to, you know, fund people for doing different stuff in your country, disequilibrate basically your effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. Do you think that, so I agree that Americans will probably end up
You
paying
know,
more.
you know,
As
it's
Go
like
ahead.
comparing the policy of Javier Milei and Nayib Bukele, right? Nayib Bukele is strong. He doesn't hesitate to put tariffs and stuff for the good, right? I don't know. I'm not a Salvadorian, but it seems like people are happy with that.
Hmm.
I think as a small country like him,
Yeah.
you are at great chance to be manipulated by another great power if you don't do something like that. Trump is getting the baby right now of turbo socialism since the Biden um, government and whatever. Maybe he's doing something wrong. I don't know, but maybe he's just doing muscular, strong uh,
Flexing.
negotiations with the other ones in order to, yeah, just hey, I am the boss. You got to remember that. So yeah,
Yeah. It is definitely a flex because as much as I think he receives pushback from other world leaders, everyone is jumping and reacting to everything he says. I don't know. I'm fascinated to see how things will turn out because right now there are tariffs with Mexico, Canada, EU. That seems to be in the funnel. China 10%, and so Americans may see price increases. We'll see how things are how things actually play out. The Canadian dollar, I haven't checked the exchange rate to the American dollar yet, but that may devalue even further so that anything that is imported with American dollars may not be as expensive, so to speak. Who knows how like the currencies will play out, but I'm interested in understanding how things will play out for actual Europeans because over the past few years, sources of energy have been compromised. And I say
yeah,
this very diplomatically. And I was reading a report this morning that said that 40% of the LNG, liquefied natural gas that's imported to Europe, comes from the US. So it seems as though the Americans or Trump has a huge negotiating lever in order to get its way. Like, what happens to Europe if this goes through?
I don't think we should talk about Europe in this whole
Okay.
global situation because I mean, well, okay, Europe is okay. Trump is doing flexes and is showing respect to himself. And when you show respect to yourself, people end up respecting you and follow you. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
time before these taxes and tariffs and stuff disappear because people will just follow the alpha basically. But if we compare that to the European Union is lost. It's basically a socialist shithole right now. They don't have access to anything. They just do something. It's acting. They are saying
Yeah.
stuff, not doing it. They are saying stuff, not doing it. I insist. And when you're doing that, it works for a few. For it's an illusion that
Yeah.
can last a little bit, but the reality strikes back as always. And yeah, we're just gonna end up losing everything. And once we at the bottom, there is no. Once we are feet in the snow, we have no other choice than working to get to show our value, to show who we are again. But until this dictatorship dictatorship has fallen. I mean the whole structure, France, but also European Union, all of those who are acting and talking with no action. No one respect us, and if no one respect us, no one gonna follow us, and if no one follows us, we're gonna end up at the bottom. That's it.
Except for the plebs who are stacking sats, right?
That's
That's the flexibility.
that's exactly why I wrote this big ass tweet you showed before, because I'm joining the Bull Bitcoin team, and I was not planning to do so. I was obviously dreaming of it since I met Francis this summer, and I really saw his vision, his mission.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, I want to do that, and I did everything I could to convince the team to I want to join them. But before that, I was planning on moving back to the Caribbean,
Hmm.
and yeah, there's something in that, like the plebs stacking and the companies helping them to get to claim back their sovereignty. Basically, there is a big mission. There is something holy in that Bull Bitcoin mission, and that's why I decided to join it and to postpone my departure to another continent. I think I should stay here and help the Europeans survive the troubles that are coming ahead, and it's
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. It really is. Gilles spoke, and Theo and JJ, you all speak about Francis's vision and
Yeah.
his mission. He seems tireless. And you mentioned Holy. Hugo Canna was on a few weeks ago. His full episode is coming out today, actually. And so Hugo Canna, I interacted with him obviously on X, but I didn't understand the full scope of his own religious conviction, his belief in Jesus, until I heard his story. And I've noticed that, so not all Bitcoiners, but a number of Bitcoiners actually use words like holy. Like there's a religious and a Christian undertone to a lot of these things. Why do you think that is?
It's difficult to say because everyone has his own, references, right?
Yeah.
But there is definitely something holy in the Bitcoin quest, the personal one, the collective one. I hate to use words such as collective because it makes people think about collectivism and socialism. But
Yeah.
the sum,
Yeah.
the sum of all individuals in this quest of sovereignty makes a collective, right?
Yeah.
And there is something holy, nearly religious with Bitcoin, and I discovered that Bitcoin brought back a lot of people to religion as well, right? We can see when we go to Bitcoin conferences, and we can see more and more plebs going back to Christianity, and I think that's pretty natural. You're bringing back values on the table. You're bringing back the value of work. Uh,
Hmm.
you don't trust and verify, and since you don't trust and verify, you don't drink the Kool-Aid from the govs, and what they took from you, you want to reclaim it. And religion is something, among the others, at least in France, that they took from us. In France, religion is a bad thing for French people. I'm not talking about people that we import who are religious and keep that. That's a cool stuff, by the way. But the French people have been brainwashed by the socialists in general, and especially the teachers at school, to say religion is something bad, and not, um, you should not give a fuck about this, basically. And we see how it ends up, right? It ends up with girls. When you don't believe in God, you just believe in bullshit. Yeah, we can see girls. I don't know, astrology, magical stones,
Yeah.
Buddhism, but they will seek spirituality in others' culture as well, like Buddhism,
Yeah.
Rastafari, whatever. That's funny because at the beginning we had the spirituality here, and you just lost it. So yeah, I'm just getting in all directions right now. But what I want to say is that there is obviously something holy in the personal than the collective. Bitcoin Quest,
Yeah.
and it resonates with the religion and with a mission that is far more important than
Yeah.
yourself, your own. Like in the tweet
Yeah.
I wrote, I was comparing the logo of
Hold on, let's go back
Bitcoin
to it. Yep.
with the flag from the Crusades. I'm not talking about the whole crusade stuff. I don't want to talk about yeah, it was bad, it was good. I'm just talking about the fact it's a flag, it's a mission,
Yep.
and people were giving themselves above outside of their own benefits
Yep.
for the collective.
Yeah, you say that what is it? The people who think it's demonic probably work for the European Central Bank.
Yeah, yeah, when I started writing this, I was like, okay, how can the crusade flag can be interpreted? And
Yeah.
if you put yourself in the skin of a Muslim in Jerusalem back in the days during the crusade, you see this flag, it's horrific for you, right? It's the demon
Yeah.
itself. But
Yeah.
if we do that with the Bull Bitcoin logo, you can have fun and think that it's basically what they feel like when they see this logo at the ECB. Basically, everyone's seeing the Bull Bitcoin logo as something demonic. Is probably benefiting from the fiat system.
Yeah, definitely. I personally liked the nod to Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, a
Yeah,
winning team. I thought that was clever. I was like, yep. I still to this day say that Jordan is the GOAT. I respect Kobe, LeBron, whatever, but for me, Michael Jordan is like he's the best
yeah,
ever.
I agree. And you know what? It's just because in France, I don't know why, when they saw the Bull Bitcoin logo more and more coming since Bull Bitcoin is launching in Europe, some of them say, "Hey, it looks like the Chicago Bulls and stuff," and I say, "Oh, well, perfectly fine,
Yeah.
perfectly fine. I'm Michael Jackson. I'm bowling with this orange, big orange stuff. That's the same thing basically we're doing. We are winning with the big orange stuff."
Exactly. That's so good. So, your role is business development now with Bull Bitcoin. How do you see yourself approaching plebs and stuff like that? Like what strategies or tactics have you considered?
There are company secrets I
Yeah.
cannot deliver. But no, seriously, I'm basically trying to explore the use cases our competitors are not looking after, are not chasing. Okay,
Yeah.
if you look centralized exchanges, for example, they make a lot of volume because of convenience. We
Yeah.
Our ethics chose to get rid of trust. Basically, Bull Bitcoin is a non-custodial platform. You can buy, sell, and pay bills or whatever using Bitcoin, and we never ever have the custody of the funds. So that's a differentiator. That obviously brings a little bit less convenience for a
Yeah.
wider public, let's say it like that. But it makes our relation with Bitcoiners stronger. Also, I'm searching for different use cases. I think companies have. I'm writing articles currently on that, but I think companies have all interest putting their treasury in Bitcoin. For example,
Yeah. Yeah.
for a company, you have two topics. You have three topics, but for a medium-sized, small-sized company, you have two topics. You have accepting Bitcoin, being paid in Bitcoin, basically, and you have something else. It's I don't like the word invest. I would say unrisk.
Hmm.
Unrisk your treasury in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
treasury you are not ready to mobilize right now in your activity to grow. You want to save it. You should save it in Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. Why?
Yeah.
Because no one can take it from you. First, because you will not have to listen to financial advisors that will push shady products just because they have a commission on it.
Yeah.
We know how it works. And because it has a potential of appreciation, and because it's the best collateral in the world, and you can borrow against it, and you can basically invest in your company when you feel ready without
Hmm.
having necessarily to sell. I mean, there are a ton of perks for the company, so this is one of my main focus. There is something else I would say is um, real estate. I think real estate is a market that is not
Hmm.
crowded by our competitors, and we have the experience to manage every situations. And
Yeah.
that's also our identity. We manage every situations. We have a white glove service. It means that if we need to adapt something to your particular needs, we're gonna do it.
It's possible. Yeah.
And because we are doing that, I think we are the only ones able to manage real estate transactions with their particularities really well. So
Hmm.
that's two of my current focus and researches, market researches, and there are others, but they are industry secret.
Yeah. I know that, so more and more, I guess, recognizable or prominent people on Twitter who were in real estate are speaking more about Bitcoin, like Gary or Grant Cardone, I think. I forget which brother it is. I know Michael Saylor has spoken about the disadvantages of real estate versus Bitcoin. Will that seep over to Europe as well? Because from my understanding, larger companies carry real estate assets on their balance sheet as well, as just as like, I guess, part of their capital structure, hedging structure. Do you think that that mindset will make its way over here equally, or will real estate still remain something that is key to a company's portfolio?
That's a really tough topic to discuss right now in the podcast because there are so much different
Yeah.
situations, there are so much different actors, and there are
Hmm.
so much different real estate markets as well. It's
Yeah.
sectorial. It's There are different types of stuff. You can have basically people in Dubai wanting to invest in France, and it's far
Hmm.
easier for them to pay with Bitcoin, for example.
Yeah.
You can have companies um, who need to sell assets for Bitcoin because they want to keep Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And with the prices of the real estate that will probably go down and down in the coming years, especially in France, um, I think in other European countries too,
I think so.
you can have plebs with their own purchasing power
Hmm.
skyrocketing, and the real estate market going um, at the cave. How do you say that? In Goblin Town.
In
uh,
Dublin town.
yeah, you may also have Bitcoiners who want to buy a house, for example, um, for living themselves inside.
Yeah, yeah, and raising their family and yeah, yeah,
You have
exciting times.
you also have international operations with real estate. You have it's a really wide topic. It's not something that we can um, describe as easily as real estate is a shitcoin. I mean, I agree, but there are tons of situations where
Yeah,
there are needs, and as I told you before, either you listen to the market and the needs, either you disappear or you leave that for your competitors, basically.
yeah, definitely. Well, if you ever publish anything on real estate in Europe, I would be interested in reading to understand how things are developing or whether actually Bitcoin is taking some of that market share. Like in Switzerland, pension funds actually also own real estate, not for living purposes, but purely as an investment vehicle. So I have no idea, what that market looks like fully, but it would be interesting to see if they actually sold off some of their real estate holdings and acquired Bitcoin to serve that same sort of hedging store of value
I'm not
purpose.
sure. I'm not sure it would happen like that. I think they will probably include Bitcoin progressively in their balance sheet, but real estate as something really symbolic, especially in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Switzerland is in Europe. It's not because it's not in the European Union that it's not in Europe, right?
We have our own currency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. But I mean, it's cultural. The real estate
Yeah,
is
I agree.
cultural here. I did not plan on writing something on the real estate market. I think it needs extensive researches, and it's not my top priority. But I think you should have a look also to Bitcoin Emo. It's real estate agency specialized in Bitcoin transactions, and Bull Bitcoin.
Emo is EMO.
EMMO. Yeah, like is the word
Oh,
for
oh, emo, like
yeah.
immobilier. I was writing E like in English,
They are
emo. Okay.
specialized in real estate transactions, including Bitcoin, and actually, Bull Bitcoin did the first real estate and Bitcoin transaction in France with them. I think it was in November 2024.
Yeah, it's so they're based primarily in France then at all. Bitcoin
Yes,
emo.
yes, but they
Just gonna
are
share this.
they are trying to be global. Huh?
Oh, okay. Well, there's a pop-up that I can't signal. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna look at this and follow
Yeah, have a
them.
look.
So, last thing that has nothing to do with real estate or business development or anything is the BEF. I saw a tweet go out. So JJ mentioned it to me a few weeks ago. I saw a tweet go out. I clicked on the link and it's down. Are all the tickets sold out?
Yeah, but it's easy for the BEF to sold out because
Yeah.
basically, okay, first I should maybe explain what is the BEF. I don't know what
Oh,
JJ.
yeah. Fair.
The BEF is the Bitcoin Economic Forum. It's the answer from hardcore Bitcoiners in France to the World Economic Forum you have in Switzerland with how is it called already? Um, I can't remember his name. The bald guy.
I'm not going to say his name because he may appear.
Okay. Well, you in Switzerland,
KS.
yes, you in Switzerland have the World Economic Forum. We have the Bitcoin Economic Forum, and basically, it's the annual meeting point of every hardcore Bitcoiners, and yeah, it's sold out because when they publish a sale for tickets, all previous years attendees are how do we say that
Oh,
prioritary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get priorities, so
So
they buy up the
most
tickets.
most of us OGs buy it straight, and then the public sale is very few, very few tickets that people from the previous editions couldn't make it this year, basically. So yeah, it went really fast. I think it was the public sale started on last Saturday, and it ended up last Monday, something like that,
Yeah.
like 2 days.
While, yeah, while I was still getting stuff back together from the winter break. So then this begs the question, when will we have our famous pepper sauce eating contest? Because you gave your guest dry bread to eat with your chili sauce. I call it pepper sauce. So
Yes.
when is this going to happen?
Well, we had a competition where it was in the Be Only conference in the Alps in Annecy. We had
Hmm.
we had a competition. We had a competition with the cash prize. It was really funny. I will probably do it again. I don't know when. I don't know if the market asks for it. I will do it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
You wanna
so
you wanna
this,
do it?
yeah. I mean, oh, let me rephrase that. Arrogant sight is coming up. I don't want to do it. I'm going to win it. I mean, I grew up eating pepper and hotness, so I mean, if especially if there's some sats on the table to win, obviously, like
Yeah, you.
nothing stops this train.
But if you participate, I will have to craft some sauce with Trinidad Scorpio for you.
Um, sure. And I do believe that if it's a competition, it's equal playing field. So we all have to eat the same kind of
Yeah.
sauces. I'm not, you could give someone water and me, Trinidad Scorpio, water may win out. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be even if there's sats on the table.
Well, don't worry. We're gonna play by the rules, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, I was actually impressed because last time I did such a thing, a lot of people wanted to participate. The
Hmm.
first surprise, and a lot of the participants, they've gone really far in the competition. I mean, they were really fighting for the sats.
Yeah, of course.
Incredible.
That's what makes it good. Ready to like,
And the winner was a small guy, maybe 13 years old. Incredible.
are you going to make me take out a child?
You
13 years old?
13 years old and he won. Yeah, half Mexican. That's why.
Half Mexican?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
half Mexican, the small guy, and it was really funny. And it was actually his first Sats. So I created him a
Oh,
wallet, a Lightning wallet, and I sent him the Sats. And I've met him 1 year later, and I asked him, "Do you still have the Sats?" And he kept it. So I was really really happy about this.
oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet, but I'm competitive, so 13, first time.
But
No,
you know,
I'm
Saida,
joking.
I can't participate, but if I participate, you're gonna lose. And I'm also eating chili on a daily basis.
uh, you talk about chili. You don't mention like Scotch bonnet peppers or other kind of peppers, so
But my signature sauce is called Hot Consensus, and it's Scotch bonnet pepper.
hot consensus.
Yeah, and this sauce has a twin without the heat, and it's called soft fork. But yeah, in
It's brilliant.
the Caribbean, we have Scotch bonnet, habanero,
Habanero peppers, yeah.
yeah, and we have habaneros, but with no heat, no that doesn't burn, but that has the same taste of the habanero. And I'm doing a sauce also with this one called soft fork, and people sensitive to yeah chili, they really love it because for the first time they can have the experience of the taste, real good taste, intense taste of the habanero without the heat, without the fire. And I think, okay, I'm doing that for fun, but I think like chili brands, hot sauce brands in France and everywhere are so dumb not to doing this. It's so easy to market. Come on,
Yeah.
chili sauce without the heat, chili sauce without fire. It's incredible.
Soft fork.
Yeah, but you know these peppers, the small ones? Uh,
Yeah.
same taste, no heat at all.
If you if you are able to penetrate the market, the pepper sauce market in Trinidad and Tobago, where my family's from, I would salute, like full on salute. That, in my opinion, is the ultimate test.
I don't know. First, they don't like the same stuff as Westerners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, techniques are not the same. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think in Trinidad they like to put a whole chili in the sauce or in the dish, or they like to yeah, I don't know, to
Grind it, yeah.
yeah,
My
to grind.
mom used to make pepper sauce at home, yeah. And sometimes you'd walk into the house and like you'd just inhale and everything would burn because it's like fresh.
I love it. And I think it's addictive as well. And but well, the two signature sauce are grinded sauce, like in the style of Caribbean sauces in general. And the other ones I do sometimes, like every 1 quarter, I make a special sauce. And now I try to make fermented sauces. It's really interesting in my
Mm.
opinion. More Asian or Western vibe, because
Yeah.
yeah, and I love all kind of sauces actually. And I'm also a great consumer. Every time I see something I never seen before from a country I don't know, I'm just buying. If I show you my fridge, I have tons of sauces.
So, how did you get into cooking and preparing, not just cooking, but you also prepare sauces and stuff?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Oh, for real, I think it comes. No, I'm 100% sure it comes from the COVID pandemic, right?
Okay.
I was how do you call that one? In quarantine. I
Mm-hmm.
was in lockdown in a country not so easy and friendly. I think in Europe and especially in France, people were out when they want, but there I couldn't do that. And I had YouTube. I had deliveries for fresh ingredients, and I don't know what I was working at home and watching tons of videos how to do that dish, how to do that, and I ended up cooking every day, and I felt in love with it. I really enjoy the don't trust verify. Do it
Yeah.
yourself from scratch. I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy that. When I say I'm cooking, it's not real. I'm not cooking all the time, but what I love to do is to take, I don't know, like a chicken or a pig, and cook everything from nose to tail, and value every
Wow.
part, and do everything by myself. Even if I need to eat bread with it, I will do it myself. Even if I need to eat noodles to make the ramens, I will do the noodles myself. So it's
Wow.
kind of challenge, and I love it, and I'm doing it for myself first. And it seems like people are finding value in it.
Yeah, definitely. And were you into a lot of meats and carnivore before COVID, or is this also the result of COVID?
No, it's pretty recent
Yeah.
because when I was younger, I was into sports and I had a pretty strict diet. So I've always been used to control what I eat.
Hmm.
With the time and being old and working more and more, and
You're not old. Stop it.
older, older, and being less challenged about doing sports on a daily basis, high level and stuff,
Yeah.
I let myself a little bit, I don't know how to say it, deperish. I was less strict on my diet and stuff. And then after the COVID, I decided to get back to sports, to try
Hmm.
having a better way of living, basically, and
Yeah.
not 100% strict like when I was really younger. But yeah, I try to be careful about what I eat. And from researches to experience, I found out that yes, keto diet is really something interesting, and carnivore diet too, especially when you're not dependent from your butcher, and you can take bigger and bigger pieces, and maybe end up with the whole pig and doing it from nose to tail. Then you understand that's freaking nice to eat only meat and maybe a few veggies, um, salad or whatever, cabbage.
Yeah.
I like cabbage. It's a support for the oil. That's it.
Cabbage is pretty good. Oh, so I think you said earlier that you were making preserves. So do you make kimchi as well, or?
Well, a little bit. I tried to do kimchi and lacto fermented carrots, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's really nice for high sugar veggies like carrots, lacto
Yeah.
fermenting and stuff, because it lowers the sugar amount, and it gives a really funny taste, a little bit like the kimchi. So I love
Yeah.
it. And since I love, I hate, throwing stuff when stuff turns bad. I love to buy in big quantities, and I eat fresh. And what I can't eat fresh, I will preserve it with different techniques. Lacto fermentation being one of my favorites, right?
That's amazing. When I was in China, I went to a restaurant and there were pig snouts on the table. I tried really hard. I really did, but I couldn't. I wasn't ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to eat pig snouts. I know when I was a kid, there was pig foot. I think it's called souse. My
And
mouth is watering.
chicken feet too. No, you eat
And
chicken feet.
no, see, that's the other thing too. My mom tried to get me to eat it. She said that when she was pregnant with my sister, that's all she craved. But she used to cook that at home as well. A chicken foot, pig foot. Pig foot, I tried because I like the saltiness of pork. But what frustrated me was digging through all the fat to get to that like one sliver of meat. Oh, was it foot or tails?
No, but
Pigtail.
what's good inside that? It's the fat. You eat the fat. You eat the joints. You eat
Yeah, the
the skin.
cartilage.
The skin is wonderful, and yeah, I don't know what happens with women's. My wife is the same as you. She would love to, but she's disgusted by the texture or whatever.
It's the visual of just seeing all of those snouts on the table with the holes. I was like, I want to do this, but I need to be blindfolded, I think, because I couldn't do it.
I think it depends also on your diet. If you're not eating that much energy from sugar from a day to another, you will be more and more appealed by these products. For example, I can tell you a story. They found a man who was rafting in the Caribbean Sea for days and days, maybe months. He ended up near Venezuela, and he said that he was surviving by fishing. And at first, like a Westerner, he was eating the muscles of the fish. Right? We do that.
Yeah. Yep.
But the more and more he was craving, and the more and more he was drafting,
Mm-hmm.
his body, it's not his consciousness,
Yeah.
it's subconsciousness, craved, the guts, the head,
Yeah.
the bones of the fish. Why? Because you have other needs, and if you don't
Yeah.
fill these needs with something else like sugar, like I don't know, then your body will remember you to will remind you to eat this nose,
Yeah.
Saida.
Maybe. I eat a lot of eggs. I love meat. I love beef. Like you give me, I mean, but then like you give me a tomahawk, or I love also les côtelettes d'agneau.
Oh
I like
yeah.
stuff like that, you know. I could eat that all day, every day, but I think that, in the example you gave, the guy was rafting. He was really, really desperate. I haven't been in that situation yet where, you know what I mean? I'm like, I could just not eat and then like just, go buck wild on like a tomahawk later or something. I think that's the psychology that goes on in my brain.
Well, can I ask you a question? When you eat your tomahawk, sometimes you have
Mm-hmm.
nodes of nerves or fat. Do you eat
Huh?
that?
Sometimes I like, especially if it's crispy, or I'll
Yeah.
suck on it or something, or even I'm not a savage, but even the bone afterward and all the stuff around it, I like to snack on that, and it takes a long time. We try to eat together at the table all the time, but it does take a long time to get to it. But it's really nice. It's very nice.
So you found the key to be able to eat these parts. You say if it's crispy. So if
Hmm.
something improves the texture for you to eat these things, you should do it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, so that'll be the next challenge. So eating pepper sauce, and then you will prepare a
Okay.
pig snout for me to eat.
Next time,
Crispy.
next time we meet each others in a conference, let's book something and let's eat pork noses with chili. That's it. We
that's a good idea.
We combine everything together and we film each other like that.
Okay, that's good. Well, I think we're going to wrap up the interview section. Thank you so much, Science, for coming on. Can you tell people where to find you on social media or the Bull Bitcoin website?
Yes, actually, you can find me on X. I'm science_genial. And you can also see me and hear me every Sunday on the podcast show called Le Bunker. Unfortunately, it's in French, so unless you are able to understand French, you won't be so happy listening 2 hours every Sunday of science ranting about random stuff. And outside of that, you can join me if you have specific needs about buying, selling, or paying stuff with Bitcoin. If you have any need in real estate transactions, you can join me easily. Same stuff on X or to science@bullbitcoin.com. I will make sure to answer you, and if I can, I will make sure we can help you and bring you through these transactions.
Through the process. Thank you very much.
Thank
And don't go anywhere because we still have to do the 21 questions.
Yes, with pleasure.
Keys. Yeah. Man like quakes. Man like who? Yeah. Takes a Bitcoin off exchanges under self-custody. She runs her own node, providing liquidity. Yeah, she got her own keys. She got her own keys. She got her own keys. Yeah, she got her own keys. 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 Yeah, she got her own keys.